Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us this evening. I really, really appreciate that you guys took the time to jump on here. I know it's the holiday season, everybody's busy, but it shows me that you have an interest or at least an understanding that you have the ability to create something with your mind that a lot of people tend to miss out on. So let's get started with I am statements and what they're all about. Oh, hold on. I gotta make sure I'm clicked on here. Okay, so my goal for the Zoom is to show you why these statements work. It's crucial because understanding it makes you more aware of how it works. Guide you in creating these statements. Explain what I've learned on my journey of using these statements for my own health and what I have improved on, and also how to implement it into your daily life. Because it is going to feel odd. It is going to feel weird, but as you implement it into your daily routine, you're going to notice yourself doing this even when you didn't think it was possible. So, and then obviously at the end, answering questions. If I start going too fast, somebody please stop me because I do tend to talk fast. Brooke, Katie, you guys know this. So
It's okay.
stop me. Okay? All right. Understanding why. Why I am statements and affirmation statements work is you need to understand that the entire time that I'm going to go through this, which my goal is to kind of keep it at about 20 minutes. This part is going to take the longest because this is the hardest part, is for us to understand why sitting there and giving us ourselves commands is really going to give us a better future. Because at first, at least I did, I felt stupid. So
Yeah.
it's a part of our ego to go, I'm a little above this, right? So when you do something without fully understanding it, you don't have the same intention for it. And as I've spoken in the past, the intention to when you have the right intention to whatever it is that you're doing, that's when it actually works. If you are going to the gym, but you're constantly thinking about negative things and angry things and frustrated, you're not going to see the same result as a person who is going to that same place or doing that same task with the intention of this is going to make me better or I'm growing through this process. And you can see it on people's faces, right? I mean, whatever it is, whether it's shopping or gym or I don't know, any example where you see people of various kinds doing the same thing, you can tell who has the intention of doing it in a good, positive way, and the people that are half-assing it.
Right.
So, why do they work? They work for a very simple reason, is that if you break us down to our basic molecule systems, we operate on programs. I use the word programs because for me, it's the easiest to understand, but it's one of the same as habits or paradigms. So we are born with preset programs for survival. I'm going to kind of dip for 1 second into mental development and how I use this when I'm working with somebody for anxiety, because anxiety and stress and that feeling of uneasy is actually very natural inside of all of us because it's one of our natural programs that we're born with. Our ancestors passed this down to us in our DNA so that we have at least some sense of a survivor skill. The only problem is that these programs are old. They are based on information from literally thousands of years ago. If you think about our existence on this planet, our brains, right, or the time that we have been at least monitoring them, we have only spent a very short time living in an environment of comfort where we don't have to worry about whether are we going to live or die at the end of this day. Roughly, I would say, what about maybe 3,000 years? And even of that, the last 2,500 were extremely violent, where that risk was still high. If you really want to call it comfort, I would say the last 300 years. Our brain is still waking up every single morning and asking, where's the danger? Because it's still going, I need to run from that saber-toothed tiger. As silly as that sounds, that is our raw core program, right? Like when you buy a phone and it comes with preset programs, we are the exact same way. We are wired from the factory with certain programs. These programs run automatically. There's nothing that we can do about them from the top level. There is something, but that takes work. But they just kick in, right? As soon as you open your eyes, your programs kick in. And if you've ever woken up kind of anxious or kind of going like, why do I feel uneasy? It's probably a thought that you had the night before that manifested itself into anxiety in the morning. I know I have. I've had that happen to me many times. So I'm not going to go too deep into each one of these because I don't want to complicate your guys' thoughts too deep on this. So I'm going to just kind of flow through this, but follow along. We're talking about programs and the way that we think. So Dr. John Maxwell, one of his quotes that I love is, none of us are born bad, but no one teaches us how not to be either. And I think there's a lot of truth to this statement. Even though all of us as parents try our best to be positive and happy with our kids, when we are raising them, especially during those first years, we are in survival state ourselves. So the last thing we have is time to stop, sit down, analyze, explain to them, and really mentally break it down to where they learn it as a lesson versus a traumatized moment. So it's up to us not only to teach the next generation, but first to teach ourselves how to adjust these thoughts, how to adjust these programs. And it is possible, but as John says, nobody really teaches us unless we find these certain ways to get access to that information. Those of you that know me, I love my little t-shirts with my quotes on them. And one of them that I really like is that we are the only creatures on this earth who can think a thought and become happy, or think a thought and become sad. And I hope that all of us can agree on this, because literally I can show you certain pictures right now of something frightening and you would get into a tensor mode, or I can show you a baby laughing and you would become happy and cheerful, right? Those are all triggers. Everything around us triggers our thoughts, and those thoughts trigger feelings inside of us. So that is just proof that there's a program inside of each one of us that as soon as we hear a certain word or we feel a certain feeling, that program gets triggered. It gets activated, whether we like it or not. Bam, it's on. Okay. So our goal, right? All of us want the same thing. We want to feel happy. We want to feel good. We want to feel confident. We want to feel like we got all of our marbles together, right? That's really our goal. Give me 1 second. I got somebody coming in. I got to admit in here. Keep in mind, I have to watch that screen. One book that I really enjoyed reading was Sean Akers' Before Happiness. And this is a guy that took the scientific and mathematical aspect to happiness. And he wanted to prove with math and science that our thoughts do have control over how we feel. And what he found out is that there's actually a ratio of the amount of positive to negative information that our brain needs in order for us to just be neutral, not happy, not sad, just be, right? And that ratio is 3 positive thoughts for every 1 negative thought. It can be a thought, or it can be just outside information. Now, if you live in the world that I live in, which I wouldn't say I'm in the middle of, Times Square, but negative information is all around us. It doesn't matter where we go, there's plenty of it on our phones, on social media, on the news. People are not really the happiest. One of the things that I can still recall, like it happened yesterday, was at the end of the St. Louis National Convention when Jeff said, you guys have spent the last 3 days here. within this bubble of happiness, and I'm about to release you into the world, back into the world full of negative people. He said, you're going to run into them at the gas station, at the hotel, at the airport. And it's so true. We cannot get away from it. But I can assure every single one of you, me included, do not take the daily effort to improve the number of positive thoughts or positive things we hear throughout the actual day. I had to work at it and make it a habit to where I have a structure of X amount of hours of positive things that I have to do. And now I'm at a point where if I'm not doing it, I will stop myself. I will turn the negative crap off and say, all right, I need to listen to something positive. I have to counteract this negative information that I just took in just to stay plateau, just to be average. Which I don't think any one of us want to be average, right?
No.
Okay, good. So it takes a ratio of 6-1 to actually feel happy.
Oh, wow.
This is not a simple task, but what I'm going to show you is actually going to improve and help you have this ratio. Because yes, it is difficult to sometimes find the right content at the right moment that's going to make us feel the best, right? We've all had moments where we've listened to a particular podcast or a particular piece of information, and sometimes it sounds amazing, and other times like, I just don't want to hear this right now. I need something else. I need a different thought, right? And that can be frustrating because now you are already in that moment of God, the sucks, and now you're having a hard time figuring out whether this is the right thing. It just adds to it, and now the whole experience, your moment to capture this and make it into something awesome is gone. So by learning how to do affirmations, by learning how to do I am statements, you can recall that by simply reciting it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody good? Everybody following along?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So our amazing brains, and they really are. We always hear how we don't use our entire brain. Our brains have this, our brains have that. The more that I dive in and learn in this field, the more I'm amazed at how incredible our brain power is and what we do with it, because everything that we are creating around us as far as technology, our brain already has. What does that mean? So because of the power of our frontal lobe, which is the problem-solving powerhouse, combined with the amygdala, which regulates fear and threat, our frontal lobe, which really is the one defining point between us and most other animals on this planet, is that we have this ability to create a virtual reality of whatever it is that we're feeling or thinking. We all understand that each one of us has a different point of view, right? Those of you that are listening to me right now are all hearing different things. I'm saying the same thing, but you're all hearing it a little bit different because you're seeing it, or it's being processed through your internal filter, which is creating your actual reality. There's this old picture where it shows that the camera is actually inside of the head, and it's broadcasting out through the eyes. That really is how it is. It's not that the information that enters our eyes is, instantly broadcasted. It's filtered. It goes through a system. And the way that we can recognize this is that, again, you can be in two completely different states of mind and see the exact same thing and have two different reactions from it. We've all done it, especially when it comes to our spouses, right? If there's a certain person that can test your inner emotions, it's the person that you live with. And there are moments when that person can say something and you feel it as a positive thing, or they'll say the exact same thing the exact same way, but because you feel different, you hear it a little bit different. We've all experienced this. We may not have been aware of it at the moment, but we have all had that feeling, that sensation, that experience, because our brains create the reality that we are constantly thinking about, right? You have this ability to kind of go and then whoom, this virtual reality creates, and it is the world that you perceive as it is. Now, the problem is this virtual reality is running on those old programs. And those old programs are not designed for today's virtual reality. They're still trying to run away from saber-toothed tigers while you're over here trying to spin up Mario Brothers, right? It's just not going to work. So this virtual reality will illustrate whatever it is that you tell it to. It will take in the information that you give it through your ears, eyes, touch, smells, right? Your basic senses. And from that, it creates the experience, right? Like when you go to a restaurant that just has the most amazing ambiance. The lighting is the perfect brightness. The sound is just at the right level. It has a great smell. The seats are comfortable. The food is amazing. Every single one of your senses activated and triggered in the language that you like to hear, see, and feel. That changes you, that moves you, that leaves an impression inside of you, because your virtual reality at that moment is being adjusted because you have all of these positive inputs coming in. Hold on a second, we got somebody else coming in. Sorry about that, Mrs. P. I hope you can hear me. I didn't see you in the burning room. This virtual mind of ours is powerful, and we got to learn how to use it. And it will create for us whatever it is that we really wish for. We just got to learn how to speak the language that it understands. So you have experienced this probably many times in your life. You just didn't realize that you were experiencing it. Have you ever thought about something with such focus that you almost felt like it was real?
Yes.
Right? I cannot be the only person that has this superpower, because I don't think it's a superpower, right? We all have. Obviously, the older we get, the more our brains become busy, the more we become cynical. We don't have that experience as often, but when we really want to, we do have it, right? We can all attest to that. Have you ever thought about something and gotten goosebumps?
Yes.
That's you changing your virtual reality. You're changing your virtual state. You may not be seeing that, but your body is responding to it because it's the change is happening in your mind. Your body's telling you that by giving you goosebumps. Your body reflects what your mind is generating, creating, feeling. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, I don't know about you guys. For me, the two places where I used to daydream like crazy was in school and, riding in the car. Think back to a moment where you felt so much something that you were focused on it to such a degree, to such a point that you can still remember it. Each one of us has something. If you just take the time to think back and go, I had this moment, or I have something that I remember or recall from the past, something that I really wanted, that I kind of created in my mind. We've all done it, and I hope that you can look back and find it inside of you, because I think it's a really awesome and beautiful thing. It's part of this amazing thing that our brains do. So, in order to train the virtual world, you need to understand that these programs are being administrated by your personal assistant. This exists inside each and every one of us. We all come factory wired with this little thing inside of us that just wants to do whatever it is that we do often. It's called a habit, right? These are programs. We don't think about it, right? When you wake up in the morning, you don't think, all right, move left foot down, move right foot down, sit up, stand up. None of that goes through your mind. You're doing that as you are already thinking about what's happening on Facebook, right? Because that program kicks in. You have this program because you have a little personal assistant. I would look at it as a personal AI, so somebody who's there to capture whatever you do on a regular basis and make it into a program. That's your AI's job. Are we following? Following? Okay, good. So, Your assistant looks for repetition, and the more often that something appears in this crazy haze of information that's going on in your mind, when it notices that a piece of information is constantly appearing, it begins to take notice of it and kind of create a temporary file for it. Like, I'm going to hold on to this. Maybe there's something to this stuff. It just keeps flying back and forth. Let's see, maybe it's needed. If not, it'll get trashed. So once your personal assistant, calling that, has seen a repetition of something for 26 to 30 days, and this has been scientifically proven and mathematically proven, that the new habit program paradigm begins to take form. Okay? But right now, it's kind of like new program name, but it doesn't know what to call it. Does this program? It doesn't know what feelings to attach to it. It doesn't know what this is for. It's not his job to know. Its job is to create it. You get to name this function and what it does. You get to name this program and what it does. And you've done this so many times in your life, aka learning how to walk, learning how to brush your teeth, learning how to drive, learning how to ride a bike. Each one of those skills you did multiple times. Your AI saw that you're doing them. It created that program, and then all the feelings and visual information around it and audio was attached to that program. That's why when you walk into a certain place and smell something, you can instantly think of a memory, or you can think of a memory and remember how that place smelled. It's because they are attached. They are attached. So, again, back to anxiety, because this is one of the easier ones to kind of teach this on. But when a person has anxiety in various different places, they get an emotional attachment to those places. And when they return to them, the anxiety is triggered faster because those places have been experienced while the anxiety program was running. Because while that program was open and running, it's capturing all the information. What is it seeing? What is it hearing? What is it smelling? What is it feeling? And it creates this updated program to now when you look at a place, boom, it's triggered. Why is this important? Is because I'm going to show you guys how to use the I am statements to create these emotional attachments to programs. Is this making sense, or am I starting to lose you guys? No?
Yes.
No, makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
I actually came across this one earlier today by accident, but it fit this perfect. The power of habits. People do not decide their future. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. I think this one nails it. So write that down. People do not decide their future. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. So, as I said, we function on programs and habits. Sleeping is a program. Walking is a program. Talking is a program. Getting dressed is a program. Riding a bike is a program. Driving, working. Try to put on your pants using your opposite legs than what you're used to. What's going to happen?
You'll fall over.
Try brushing your teeth with the other hand. Try writing something with the other hand. It's a challenge because the program is like, no. This is the function. This is how the robot functions with this hand. Why are you using this hand? This is where your personal assistant goes, hold on a second. You made this program and you said this program is supposed to do this. And now you want to do this? I don't think so. And that's when that balance falls off. But that's okay, because we know that this happens. We know that this balance, that this off balancing happens. So then when you create the new program, you're going to rebalance yourself, and you'll see that why in a minute. So how do you create proper I am statements? Okay. So an I am statement is you saying now what you want to be or have or feel in the future. Okay. But you're saying it now. And this is why I say some people say that I feel silly doing it, because they're like, well, I don't have this. Why am I saying that I do? Well, your virtual assistant needs to hear it, make the file, generate that file, and then the law of attraction is going to bring it into your life, and then the virtual reality is going to create it real. But you don't understand that yet. And I didn't either until I experienced it. And once I experienced it, once I felt it, once I understood it, everything changed in the way that I approached. My intention with these statements changed. How I was doing them, my commitment to them increased. So continuing on, when you say I am, that is like a programming code for your brain, and it kind of goes, okay, I'm listening. You said I am what? What should I create for you? When you say those words, I am, your brain is on. It's like, okay, I'm listening. That's why certain words are important. There is a programming language. I don't know any of it. I'm still learning just I've learned a few tiny tidbits. There's probably much more advanced stuff, but this stuff works. I promise you, if you stick with it, it works. Again, say it over and over, and the virtual reality begins to form into that thought.
You can make the most.
Because words have power. The words that we use, how we say them, when we say them, and what words we use has a lot of power. Okay?
Right.
Words are powerful. Let me ask you this. What happens if you lost your phone right now? What's the first thing that you would do?
Cry because I'd lose my program with you.
Right. Meaning, let's say that you were heading out the door and you notice that you don't have your phone. What's the first thing that you're going to do?
Ask someone in the family to call it for me.
You're going to try to find it, right?
Yes.
So our brain knows when we think, oh, no, I lost something, we go find it. Do you understand that, right? It's it's two programs that work hand in hand. You lose something, you find it, right? Just like we know if we're hot, if we're too hot, we need to cool down. If we're too cold, we need to heat up. Loss and gain are the exact same functions in our brain. That's why it's kind of funny when people say, I want to lose weight. What do you think your brain is hearing? We lost something? Let's go find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that really is how programs activate our minds. That's why I was so happy when our system was not called a weight loss system, but a weight management system, because the word management in our minds has a completely different meaning than the word loss. And that's powerful. Words have power. Okay. Words activate programs, feelings within us. They all do. I can say certain words right now that would probably trigger each one of you to feel something, right? That's why they call them trigger words, right? Don't trigger me, right? It's become like a whole thing, but that is actually what happens inside of us. It triggers an actual program. It's up to us to control what program gets triggered by what word.
Okay.
Nobody else's, because the world is full of bad words, right? We cannot hide from the bad words. We can control what programs inside of us get activated by them. Negative words create negative feelings, negative energy, negative vibration, and positive words create positive feelings, positive energy, and positive vibration. This is something that we all know at this point. One of my favorite things to say and to kind of correlate I am statements with is prayer, right? At some point now, if you know, I've never been a godly person. I recently kind of come into this fear where I can even talk about this like this. I used to be kind of embarrassed to even talk about God or spirituality. And when prayers do come true, the problem is that most of us, give me 1 second. The problem is that most of us are always praying for things that we don't want, because when do we pray?
When we're sad, when we're stressed.
Exactly. So are we saying at that moment, God, thank you for this beautiful day? Or are we saying, God, please don't let this happen. God, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. So we're saying the word, please don't, but expecting a do. You can't say don't, but expect a do. They don't go hand in hand. Right? They're two complete opposites, but yet that's what we do. So imagine if we prayed, like I know there are people that teach you how to pray to be thankful for the things that you have, right? Which is crucial. I never understood that. I used to look at that and be like, why? Like, don't I want to ask for things that I want that I don't have? Why should I be thankful for these things first? And that is to get you into that mental state that allows you to receive the things that you ask for. So, back to this, when we are doing this in a state of desperation, it never activates the positive feelings in order to attract to you what it is that you are asking for. And that's why it doesn't work. I just realized we've already gone past my 20-minute timeline. Sorry, guys.
It's
We
okay.
tend to pray for what we don't want, unfortunately, right? Instead, pray for what you do want, because that really is where the power is. The I am statements, the affirmations, and prayer are all kind of one of the same. It's just you're using different words. To some people that have such a deep feeling towards God, they cannot do I am statements because they're not operating on a regular program. They are more, their language is spiritual language. So prayer for them has more effect than doing I am statements, and vice versa. It depends on your language. And all of us have a different language. We all have a different thing that we like, or what makes us feel good, and the things that make us understand and remember something. We all speak and hear it at a different language based on our personality types, and that's okay, as long as you find your flow. But the words that we use is very, very important. And this is where I love what Amber taught at the power training about changing certain words, right? And I think she hit that on the head. In your vocabulary, replace the word if with when. Instead of saying if this happens, just say when this happens. It's going to take you some time to create this new habit, this new program, this new paradigm, but keep working at it. The more that you are consciously aware of the words that you are using, the better it will be for you. Okay. But you've got to try. Replace never with soon.
Okay.
It may sound foolish. It may sound like, well, aren't I just tricking my own self? Well, yeah, you are. That's kind of the point, because you didn't even realize how you got yourself in this first mess in the first place. And as many people say, the mind that created the problem can never solve it. You requires a different mind. So the mindset that you had that created the problem cannot solve that problem. You need to adjust your mindset to find that solution. You have to trick yourself, or as they say, act as if. Unfortunately, the whole act as if thing has been blown out of proportion to such levels to where people abuse its true meaning. Replace tired with growth. If you are having a tired day and somebody asks you, how are you feeling? Don't say, oh, I'm tired. I'm having a day of growth. The first time you say like, that is just dumb. But after a while, who knows? You might just start feeling it. The best story is when I first started jumping on to the Sunday night calls that we used to have, and I started talking to Anthony, who's no longer with us. I said, why is it that every time that I talk to you and I ask you how you're doing, you always say awesome? Because when he would ask me how I'm doing, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. You know, it's a crappy day. But he always said awesome. And he said, it doesn't matter what state of mind I'm in. I always feel awesome. And guess what happens? I tend to feel awesome. And that is so true. So, and I notice that this often at the grocery store, one of my favorite things to do, right? Because the cashier people, they're used to saying hello, how are you? The other says hello, how are you? And they go along among their day, right? It's like a robots. And they always say, how are you? I say, awesome. I'm like, how are you? And they go, oh, I'm okay. And I will go, just okay. And they'll kind of catch them off guard. They'll be like, are you really talking to me? Like, is this person actually asking me? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why just okay? You have a job, you're alive, you're here. Why not awesome? And it really throws people off. That's how much we are in this negative state of mind on a constant basis. So by changing these simple words, you can do so much to yourself and then the people around you. Replace, Amber said this one, replace busy with productive. Because again, our brains interpret the word busy much different than they interpret the word productive. Replace problem with opportunity. So instead of saying, how do I solve this problem? You ask yourself, what do I do with this opportunity? Which is probably the hardest thing to do whenever we are in that corner, in that stressful moment, dealing with a massive problem. The last thing that we want to say is, this is a growth opportunity, right? We're like, what is this, right? Why me? Why now? When really we should be asking is, what am I supposed to gain from this? How do I grow from this? What is the opportunity in this? Because we can all look back at some point in our life where we experience something negative, something bad, but yet something positive came out of it in some sort of a way. Every single situation. Judy got out of the car but left the phone. I hope she has a earpiece on. So just try with those 5 words. There is many, many more. And as you become more conscious aware of the words that you use, you will replace a lot more words in your vocabulary. It will take time, but that's also part of this shift, part of this change. So as you guys know, one of my favorite shirts, what you think is how you feel is what you attract. And the law of attraction simply states that by focusing on what you want to achieve, you'll emit a positive energy that will attract those achievements to you. Or as I like to say, it will assemble life in a way, it will line things up in order for you to achieve the goal of what you're trying to do. But that is so heavily controlled by the energy that we give off. And this is where most of us fail. And this is where I go back to intent, because you can do these I am statements and these affirmations all day long. If your energy is not falling into that vibration, if you're not believing what you're doing, it's not going to work. It's just going to be words. I want you guys to really, really understand that. It's really, really crucial. So, examples of I am statements. I'm going to go over the ones that I made for myself because this is how I felt. And I've done this experiment, you want to call it, on myself for the past 1.5 years now. And this is the words that I have slowly created into my I am statements. I felt always that I was weak. When I would shake other guys' hands, I always felt like they were crushing mine, but I never had the strength to shake their hand back. I felt that I didn't have the strength in my legs. I was having back problems. So for me, hi Judy, becoming strong was something that I really wanted as part of my life. The next thing was I am healthy. Sounds very, very simple, right? But believe it or not, it's so powerful. And I started out with those, and I slowly built on them. So another example is for myself, because this is something that I've always struggled with, is I am brave. Bravery for me is something that I've had to learn, I've had to grow into. I am wealthy. I think we all know why that one's there, right? I mean, no explanation needed, I think, right? I think we're all on the same path, no?
Yep.
So I am calm. For me, this one was crucial because my brain was constantly running at 10,000 miles an hour. Like right now, I'm having to make an effort into actually, sorry, somebody was waiting to get in the room. Miss P, she fell out.
Oh, Amy. Oh no.
Yeah, I can't hear. Okay, she's back in. Miss P, can you hear me now?
Hi, Amy.
I hope she can hear me. I didn't see the chat. Sorry, Amy. I'm so sorry. For me, being calm was crucial because my brain was constantly flying, and I had to slow myself down. I had to calm down. And I remember Jeff always saying, you don't have to slow down, you have to calm down. right? Because as he says, you have to slow down to go fast. So you have to calm down to go forward.
Mhm.
Another one is I'm confident. For me, confidence was always a big issue. I grew up for most of my teens and 20s with a very low self-esteem. So being confident in myself is something that I have honestly, out of all of the things that I feel so much more, as much as I say this, is that I'm strong and that my confidence level has increased dramatically by simply saying it. Nothing else has really changed besides my mindset, but my mindset is being programmed by the words that I'm saying. You guys following? Is this making
Yeah.
sense? Is this all starting
Yeah.
to come together? Why I've been babbling for the past 30 minutes? Okay.
No
So,
babbling.
um,
Teaching.
thank you. Another one is I'm a national marketing director. Why not? This is your movie. You're the director. What do you want? And as Amber said, or what was it, Amber or Jeff? And I really elaborated this on the last call that we did, is that we need to be hyper focused on what we want. State what you want. I am this. I am this. I am this. And you're gonna feel stupid doing it, but you know what? It's gonna help. Watch. I'll explain to you why or how. I am loved. This is something that I think is crucial for a lot of us. Even though we may think or feel loved, are we truly feeling loved? And that matters in our mental health for all of us. I am beautiful. This is, one of the ones that kind of ties in to confidence. As Puya, when I was working with him on my statements, he says, and I think no kids around, right?
Right.
He says that one of his affirmation is that I'm a sexy MF, and he says that every single morning. Like that's one of his affirmation because he did not feel attractive, so he says that. And again, your brain is waiting for the I am, and it kicks in, right? It begins to create that program, whatever it is that you say. So, or I am handsome. For gentlemen, I'm courageous. Another thing for me, given my personality types, that's something that I've been really studying a lot heavily into. I shut down with confrontation. So for me to have more courage is something that I really want to work on. And that's something that I want to have because it's important for what I want to do with my life, which is stand on that stage, be a trainer, be somebody that adds value to other people's lives. I have to have courage. I can't be a scared little puppy. No one's going to listen to me. So this is, you guys are reading my list. I'm opening up my list here. So how do you use them? Okay, let's get into the hows. Start with one. I know this is silly. You're probably saying, Alex, I can handle 5 or 6. Lay it on me. No, start with one. Until you have that one where it's like a song, right? It's just like you can just groove with it wherever it is. It doesn't matter what you're doing, dishes, laundry, driving, sleeping, shower. It's just flowing in your mind. Then you add the other one. So, for example, I start out with I am strong. I am strong. I am strong. I'm strong. It sounded so boring. It sounded so boring. I was ready to quit. I was ready to quit, but I kept saying I'm strong. I'm strong. And once I got that down, I added I'm healthy. I'm strong, I'm healthy. I'm strong, I'm healthy. And it has to have a flow, right? So after about 10 days is usually when I notice. For you, it could be different. Everybody's different. Whenever you notice that you have that flow, start to add more to it, okay? But don't make it too long. Make it more strong, but don't make it too long because the brain has to still process it, right? If you give it too much code at once, or if you constantly are giving it this much, it's going to go, it just takes longer. It's overkill. So don't overdo it, just the right balance. And then after 10 days, add another. Once you find your flow, move them around so they sound better for you. Like I made mine to where they kind of flow. I'm strong, I am healthy, I am brave, I am wealthy. Right. I'm calm. I'm confident. I'm courageous. I'm happy. Right. So like for me, it's a flow. It works in my mind. You can be completely different. Make it whatever makes your flow, whatever makes your heart feel good, whatever makes you feel good when you say it, however it is. Okay. And then feel free to add or remove and adjust things, but just understand that it takes 26 days for the changes to happen inside of that program. So if you have been saying it, 6 of them in a certain way for a certain time frame, and then you decide to add or change something, it's going to first of all take you about a week just to get used to that new flow. And then it's going to take time for you to kind of get back into that groove. So just keep that in mind when you start to edit them. When do you say them? This is the fun part. Okay. You guys ready?
Mhm.
Okay. First thing in the morning, before you even pick up your phone, you say these affirmations. You say these I am statements. And you say them 10 times, 20 times, however many times you need to, you say them, because you do not want a single negative thought to enter your mind first. This is where you have control. If you've read The Miracle Morning, that's exactly what they talk about. If you have to wake up 10 minutes early just so you can have that quiet time to really focus your mind and get ready for the day, prime or set your intention, your day will change. Okay. So the first thing in the morning, tell everybody around you, especially the people that are going to be in or next to you when you wake up in the morning, that you need this 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is time. You need this, and to not to just let you, no matter how hard it is, let you do this, and then let's get on with your day. This is crucial because, and obviously interruptions happen, but try to stick to this type of a flow where you wake up, boom, I'm reading my statements. I have mine typed out on a note card and taped to my nightstand. So as soon as I wake up and I turn off my alarm, my eyes are boom, right there on them. And I say them. It's the first thing that I say. Next, at nighttime, it's the last thing that you say, and you tell everybody around you. Once I'm reading my statements, I'm done. Consider me in bed. I'm off limits. My brain is off. Okay. Say them and close your eyes. Don't scroll through Facebook. Don't open Twitter. I'm just going to check one more thing. No. You read them and you close your eyes, because this is where you set the intention for your day. Say them throughout the day as often as you feel that you need to, that you want to. And this is where the reprogramming starts. Prime example, when I was in Tulum, I walked out into that little beach area, into the water by the trees, whoever on a call was there. And I stood there kind of arms open into the sunlight, and I said them over and over and over. And what I was doing there was I was anchoring those words to a happy feeling. You guys follow me?
Yes.
Yep.
This is where you control the program. Now, if let's say that you are on a trip and everything is going bad, right? The flight went bad, the luggage lost, the room is crap, nothing is going right. There's a program being made in that moment, whether you like it or not, because you're going through that experience. This is a time where you are in a neutral state. You're not at a loss, negative. Everything's fine. But you are taking the opportunity to anchor a neutral, calm, positive feeling to those words. Because whenever you are feeling bad or you are feeling off, guess what? Say those words. And what are those words going to do? They're going to trigger a program. And what is attached to that program? A positive feeling. Are you guys following me now?
Absolutely.
Making sense? Now, when you say them during a negative feeling, you are going to attach those negative feelings to it as well. But as you are constantly doing it, and you're doing it more in a positive state over time than a negative one, you will have more positive attachments to that program. It will not recall the negative emotion as strongly as the positive one. This is where your guys' power lies. This is where you are directing your brain, your mind, your subconscious of how you want to feel. And these words are your anchors. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. This is what I just went over. Sorry, I didn't get to a chance to click the next button. So essentially what I just said. Those of you that follow me on Facebook, I post this a lot. Embed the thought of how you want to feel tomorrow, the night before. This is why I say it's important that you read these and close your eyes and go to bed. Because while you're sleeping, your brain is manifesting the information that you took in throughout the day. By setting the intention right there late in the evening, I'm not leaving, but right before you go to bed, you are telling your brain, this is what I want you to focus on and function and think about while I'm resting and sleeping. Setting your intention. And people say, why in the morning? Why at night? So my question to you is how do you want to wake up? Do you want to wake up feeling refreshed, or like the guy on the right, ready to smash the clock? Right. And the difference really is your mindset, right? I know you guys are going to say, well, but what if somebody comes bursting into the room, or the phone is ringing, this and that? Yeah, all of those things are going to happen. Guess what? It happens to all of us. Question is what can you control in that situation? And that is your mindset. And not only can you control it by the first minutes of when you first wake up, but you can control it by embedding the seed of how you want to feel the night before. Is it starting to kind of dive in here?
Yes.
Okay. So I have noticed myself that I'm sleeping better and I'm waking up, and my mornings are more intentional. The longer that I keep doing this. Okay. Now here comes the elevation part. This is where we're going to supercharge this. And once you feel comfortable to do this, do it. And I highly encourage you guys to do this as soon as you possibly can. The faster you get to this phase, the faster the program is written. Okay. That one was not supposed to load that way. It was supposed to do one line by line. As they all say, right? The old saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul.
Yes.
So look in the mirror, look your eyes dead in the eyes, and say these over and over and over. It's going to feel embarrassed. Sorry, I keep looking up because I have the video up here, but the camera's here. Say them over and over and over, even though it may feel uncomfortable, because you're looking yourself in the eye and you start analyzing your eyeball and like, what's happening with this and what's happening with this. Don't. Just focus on looking yourself in the eye and saying saying your words, saying your affirmations over and over and over. Sean Aker also in that same book tells a story of a very wealthy businessman who was meeting with some of his competitors, and they thought that if they would get him drunk, he would be more open to doing deals, and they could possibly take over his territory. So as they started drinking, he noticed that he was starting to lose control, and he went into the bathroom, looked himself in the eye in the mirror, and started talking to himself and saying, you are sober, you are strong, you are confident, you are fine, you are sober, you're confident, you're fine. He just kept repeating it to himself through his eyeballs, and in that moment he gathered his strength to not feel as drunk and get through that meeting. The first time that I read that, I was like, it's a little silly. Now that I've been doing this into my own eyeballs, which, as crazy as that sounds, I kind of enjoy it, because what I've also have learned to do is to just, if I'm having one of those nasty moments where my brain is just not right, I will stop myself. I will look into the mirror, look myself dead in the eye, and I'll tell myself to stop. You have to communicate to yourself. You already do. All of us do. We all talk to ourselves 1,000 times a day. We just are not in control of what we're saying to ourselves, and it tends to be negative. So make it positive. I don't know about you doing it with a camera, because I don't feel like in order to see yourself, you gotta, you have to look up a little bit. So mirrors do work much better than cameras. Try it. It's not as bad as it sounds. It's just you and the mirror, right? Like, who's going to see you? Right. What do you got to lose? Try it. So are we good on I am statements?
Yes.
Do we understand why they work?
No, but we're going to give it a shot.
Okay. Then I didn't do a good job then. We're going to go
No,
back
you did. I
to
understand
slide
it.
one.
It's like I hear everything you're saying, but I guess until I work on it and I experience it, I won't believe it.
Right. And as you are writing them, if you need help, just message me and say, hey, what do you think about these statements, these words, and so forth. Okay.
Okay.
I'm always here to help, because I think that this stuff is powerful.
Thank you.
Now, next is affirmations, and I'm going to kind of move quicker because we're already at an hour mark. Affirmations are longer with more detail. As Puya said it, like the way that I look at affirmations, he calls it your 5-year statement, which is basically you saying, today is January 1st, 2028. And I just woke up in my beautiful mansion and my overlooking the lake, and my team just hit a new bonus, and my private jet is being set up for me as I get ready to fly over to Cabo. Right. Which for all of us sounds silly, but if you read this often enough, say on a daily basis, you're going to start to believe that life. That's really what affirmations are. Affirmations is what is it that you want your life to look like? Your I am statements are more of what you want to be. The affirmations are more of what do you want your life to look like? What is that environment? If I was to give you a paintbrush and the ability to create the life that you want without any limits, what would that life look like? And that's really what the affirmations do. How do you see your life? In order to manifest, you have to first remove any negative thoughts out of your mind, because a negative and a positive thought cannot exist in the same time in the same mind. I cannot quote the science of how they prove this, but this does. It's very difficult, right? I mean, I think all of us can probably admit that we have had times where we felt angry and we tried to think positive, but it just wasn't happening, right? It's happened to, I want to say all of us. I hope all of us. And you have to knock those negative thoughts out first by being grateful, as we discussed earlier. And that's part of your affirmation statement. So first you must be in a state of gratitude, and then your mind is in a vibration to create the reality that you ask for. So first you got to kind of knock off that negative, and then you've got to get your mind into that state that it will begin to create and adapt itself to whatever it is that you want in your life. Create that virtual reality that you seek. So what's the difference between those two? Really, one is short and read multiple times a day, I am statements, and the others is longer and read usually once a week. If you want to read yours daily, do it. If you want to read it 10 times a day, do it. I don't see any negative in that. I think the more that you say it, the more that you begin to believe it, the more that you create that picture inside of your mind. So how to create a proper affirmation statements. Here's how I walk people through it. First, on a sheet of paper, just write, I am grateful for, and then list out 6 things that you are grateful that apply to your life, that are specific to your life, right? It could be something as simple as, your cat, your pet, your phone, whatever it is. Just be grateful for something. If you really cannot find, anything major, it could be something so simple like having clothes, having food, having a car, having a home, right? Whatever those things are, this is where we're going to prime your mind to be in a state of gratitude by saying, I am grateful for the following things that I have in my life. And make this list on your own whenever you guys have a chance. Just 6 things quick. Don't write sentences. I'm grateful for my home, my family, my job, my house, whatever it is that you want to put in there. Just kind of short and simple. Okay. And then you want to make a second list. And this one you say, I want in my life. And then you list out 6 things that you want. It doesn't have to be 6. It could be 10. It could be 20. Just I work off of 6 so you can make at least 5 or 6 decent statements. So this is not just things, but this is how you want to feel, how you want to be, who you want to be, where do you want to live, how do you want to live. All of those things control I want in my life. So what is it that you want? What is that picture that you're drawing with this paintbrush? What does that look like? Summarize here. Like for me, I want a new home. I want to be a national marketing director. I want to have the confidence and lifestyle of traveling and speaking. So I have that in my wants. Are you guys following?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody good?
Yes.
Okay. So to complete the actual affirmation, we take those 2 pieces of information and we put them together. So fill in the blanks like this. I'm so thankful and grateful now that I live in a beautiful home. I have an amazing spouse. No matter what you live in or what your spouse is or what's happening in your life, you say it like it already is. You are being grateful for what you have, and you also are saying that you're thankful for that you now have what you want. This is that act as if part, right? This is where you are looking at it and going, where you are mentally in your virtual world are going to act as if you are already in possession of those things or feel those things or have or achieved whatever your goals are. Okay. But there are a few do's and don'ts here. Okay. A few. For example, you don't want to use negative words as we talked about earlier about words, right? Which words trigger which things. You don't want to use negative words like I don't want to have anxiety is a very negative statement because it says anxiety, which triggers anxiety inside of you by saying that word. And then don't, right? I don't. All your brain hears is I don't. Okay, activate subprograms I don't, and then put everything in here that we don't want because there's a don't in front of it. Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everybody else good? Judy, give me a thumbs up. Cool. All right. Because instead of, I'm sorry?
I'm trying to write as fast as you're speaking. I'm not good at it.
Sorry, I'm
going to be great at writing as fast as you speak.
Sorry, I'm going to be great at slowing down. I will give you the link to this so you can go back and rewatch it and pause and take notes because this is a lot of information.
It's important though.
Thank you. So instead of saying, I don't want to have anxiety, you could say, I'm so thankful and grateful now that I'm calm, poised, and always in a positive and uplifting mood. I'm so thankful and grateful now that I'm calm, poised, and always in a positive and uplifting mood. I'm saying the exact same thing as I don't want to have anxiety. I'm just saying it in a different way. And that is where the power lies because the words have power, they have meaning. I'm so thankful and grateful now that I'm calm, poised, and always in a positive and uplifting mood. That is one of my affirmations. Okay. You guys got it? Can I continue?
Yes.
Okay. So a few examples from my playbook. Okay. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more successful. So simple. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more successful. This next one is from Steve Harvey. Good things are always happening to and for me. Why not you? Why can't good things always happen to you on a daily basis? Why not? Why does it have to be bad things? Because you're not setting the intention for good things. Good things are always happening to and for me. Here comes my next one. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Judy, good? I am strong. I am healthy. I am brave. I am wealthy. I am calm. I'm confident. I'm courageous. I'm happy. I'm in harmony with everything that enters my life. I am strong. I am healthy. I am brave. I am wealthy. I am calm. I am confident. I'm courageous. I'm happy. I'm in harmony with everything that enters my life. This is where I take I am statements and combine them into an affirmation. Judy, do you need me to say it again? Or you got it? Awesome. You're still on mute. Hold on. I don't think I can.
I'm writing in the dark, I said.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Just if you need me
Okay.
to.
But I got it. Look, I got it.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. All right. Here's the next one. Confidence, creativity, and a vision of a bright future flows through me in abundance.
Oh, I like that one.
That one took me a while. Huh?
I like them all, but I really like this one.
Yeah. Confidence, creativity, and a vision of a bright future flows through me in abundance. And please understand, these are not words that I would normally use. It took me time to write, to come to these. We're good?
Yep.
All right, some more examples. This is where you're going to see that structure of I am thankful, I am grateful. So I am thankful, excuse me, I'm so thankful and grateful now that I have full power, control, confidence, and strength over my emotions, feelings, reactions, and responses to all things in life. I'm so thankful and grateful now that I have full power, control, confidence, and strength over my emotions, feelings, reactions, and responses to all things in life. Again, very simple, but has a lot of power to it.
Yes, it does.
The one piece of advice that I will give you guys is when you're saying these, try to feel it. Say it with emotion. It activates more inside of you when you do. A next one. And I wrote these all from I used to battle and have panic attacks, bad anxiety, drove myself to the emergency room 3 times thinking I was dying. I used to sit in the corner and cry thinking that I was going to die. So I built all of these around my confidence and my emotional state.
Like what was going on?
So the like this one is I'm so thankful and grateful now that I have emotional, physical, mental, and neurological strength and confidence to take on any challenge that comes my way. It's a wordy one, but it's got a lot packed to it.
Yes, it does.
I'm so thankful and grateful now that I have emotional, physical, mental, and neurological strength and confidence to take on any challenge that comes my way. Again, these are mine. Make yours simpler. If this is too complicated for you, I will help you guys make yours simpler, okay? Start out simple and then grow. I didn't start like this. I started out much more basic. I just don't have those old copies. I should have kept them. This is what I'm working off of now. So this is what I'm using for examples. And then again, I'm so thankful and grateful one that I'm calm, poised, and always an uplifting mood. I don't know why I have it in there twice. I thought that I had a different one. Sorry. We already have that one in there.
That's all right. It's important.
Oh, here, this one. You guys are going to love this one. I'm so thankful and grateful now that money flows to me in abundance from various sources of income. I'm so thankful and grateful now that money flows to me in abundance from various sources of income. And I will say that it has had an effect. Now, this is where we get into what Jeff teaches and the slight edge, right? I'm hoping, I think all of us have read this book at this point. If not, highly encourage you to, because one of the things that Jeff is always teaching about or explaining in that book is that everything that you do in life every single day, there are little tiny small decisions that seem so insignificant in that moment that you even question whether you should be even doing it. Like these I am statements, these affirmation statements. There will come a day when you're going to open your eyes, you're like, I don't want to read these things today, or I'm so tired, I'm just going to go to bed. I'll read them tomorrow. It's okay. It seems insignificant in that moment, but these statements combined together are going to create massive growth in your life. You've got to be committed to them. You've got to stay on top of them, just like everything else, whether it's with our business, whether it's with your family, or whatever it is that you do in your life. When you are consistent, it seems to work, right?
Yes.
Same thing here. Consistency and intent. Those are your two main important things here. Do not be embarrassed by this. Do not be afraid of it, because this, we have all heard so many motivational speakers are always saying how, you must feel this and you must feel that, and if you just think these thoughts and if you just do this, you're going to feel great. Well, this is the code. This is the language that you do this with. It's the I am statements and your daily affirmations, or weekly, or however it is that you want to read them. My flow is, when I wake up in the morning, I read my I am statements, which is those 8. I am strong, I am healthy, I am brave, I am wealthy, I am calm, I am confident, I'm courageous, I'm happy, I am successful. And sometimes I'll change up the end a little bit just to keep my mind a little bit pliable, right? They say your brain is just like a muscle. You have to constantly train it. And you train it by doing things opposite of how you normally do them. Like once a day, try writing at least 2 or 3 words with your other hand. It seems so insignificant in the moment, but it's actually strengthening your mind. Just like these statements, you're going to read them and like, I don't feel this. Like I've had so many people say, like, Alex, I'm reading these and I feel so stupid. And I'm like, well, the problem is that your feeling is not aligned with what you're trying to do. Your intention is not there. Of course, you're going to feel stupid. But what if you felt good? What if you tricked yourself into feeling like this? Would it really be that bad? Are you going to lose something from it? No. But you will gain so much. And I think that is crucial. So to summarize, we have gone over why the I am and affirmations work, how to create them, how to use them, and how to manifest with them.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Now that I've gone half an hour or almost 40 minutes over my time.
I am thankful. I'm very thankful that you took the time to do this. I very much appreciate you putting the program together for us.
Anytime. I really hope that you guys learned something and got some nuggets out of it and can start to incorporate this into your lives and have a really, really awesome life.
Thank you.
That's really the goal. So, Judy, are you good? You look like you took a lot of notes. Good. Awesome.
I only added 2 affirmations to it.
Awesome.
Or 2 I ams to what you wrote. Okay. I wrote, I am a brand partner magnet, and I am a great customer getter.
That's awesome. See, so right there, you are already using certain words to generate that. Perfect. I love that. That's awesome. And that Do you guys see how she just did that? Quickly, boom, right? Just adding those words, whatever it is that you want, add it. Say it. Feel silly, feel goofy, but damn, it's gonna work. Just give it time. Julie and Chris, you guys good? You guys, any questions? Joanne, JG, Mrs. P,
It's Amy P.
Amy. Well, it says Miss P, so I just
Okay.
all I see is MSP.
Okay.
Amy,
Yes. Thank you so much. This is Amy. Thank you so much. This
No
was
problem.
great. I really appreciate you.
any questions? Did everything make sense?
It did.
For
It
doing
did.
this,
Very clear.
Alex, we needed a
Thank you.
reminder.
No problem.
Yes.
I actually would like to do some more and kind of dive into more topics. I promise the next one will be not an hour long. I will get better at this. Just bear with me. But I will teach more on these topics and how we can create these things, because I'm seeing it work with people that I'm working with that have anxiety. I'm seeing that it work with them. And if we can work with them, then what can we do with it?
Right.
I will
So-
call you
Yes.
our personal development coach.
I will appreciate that, and I would love to have the honor of being that for people, because that really does bring me joy. It really does.
Good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
Okay, guys.
Thank you for the gift of your time. We
No
appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you for listening and letting me babble.
You were
You're
great.
not
Thank you so
babbling, you're
much.
leading.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful
Alright,
night.
bye.
Good night.
If I don't talk to you guys on the next call, have an amazing Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Alex.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Amy.
Bye, Jill.
Bye-bye.